Ayanda is not very classy. Neither is she very demure, brave, stubborn, and ruthless. She's not like every other lady in her village. Once upon a time, there lives a beautiful yet fierce and wild young woman named Ayanda. Many believed her strength came from her father, a fierce god of wind who could command storms with a wave of his hand. He had fallen in love with Princess Tammy, a human, despite the disapproval of her people and the king. After giving birth to Ayanda, Tammy mysteriously disappeared, leaving the infant in the care of the royal maid, Jibike. The king, angered by his daughter's disobedience, ordered Ayanda's death. But Jibike fled with the child to a distant village and raised her as her own. Years later, Ayanda has grown into a strong-willed lady with only one peculiar power. She could summon oranges from anywhere. Not exactly the most impressive superpower, but Ayanda made most of it, stunning anyone who dare cross her path with oranges. Her mother, Jibike, will constantly remind her, Ayanda, you must behave yourself. Suitors are coming, and you cannot go around stunning them with fruits. But Ayanda wasn't interested in marriage. When Kolade, a young man from the west, arrived with his family, asking Ayanda's hand in marriage, but Ayanda stretched her arms to the sky and summoned every ripe orange from every farmland in the village. The suitor and his family stared in horror as Ayanda began stoning them with oranges. By the time she was done, the entire family looked like they had been through an orange juicer. The news spread through the village, and when the village heard, it wasn't amused. So he went to Jibike's hut and declared, Ayanda must leave this village. This orange assault cannot continue. Jibike begged him to reconsider, but Ayanda has already packed her belongings and was ready to leave. Mother, don't beg him. He only cares about my power, not me. Jibike looked at her. What power? All you do is steal oranges and throw them at people. Don't you know anyone that marry me will become a god? Ayanda replied. Jibike vexed. She doesn't even know where Ayanda heard such nonsense from. You are not a god. You live on earth. Jibike shouted at her as Ayanda walked away from the village. So, Ayanda left for the mountains. But soon, the reality of her situation dawned on her. She was tired of eating only oranges. She found herself craving real food. So that night, Ayanda sneaked back into the village and stole their food, carrying food from their barns and storerooms. Bread, yam, chickens, goats, nothing was safe. The villagers were confused. There is a thief among us, the village head announced. We are going to bring in the military, men in uniform, to watch over our food. Captain Bode and his men were confident at first, but after several failed attempts to catch the thief, confusion turned into frustration. Is this thief a human or a ghost? Captain Bode stared at the empty storeroom. Rumors spread. It's Ayanda's spirit. The villagers whispered. She's afflicting us with hunger. So, the village head went to Jibike, explaining their predicament. But Jibike replied, Ayanda, a goddess, never. Our power cannot even kill a fly. As Captain Bode listened to the village plight, he realized there might be another way. Love is what tames a father, the village head had said. So Bode said to his men, whoever can win Ayanda's heart will be greatly rewarded. So The next morning, Bode's men prepared to confront Ayanda, each planning how to woo her. But as they approached her home, Ayanda stood ready with pile of both ripe and unripe oranges. Before the soldiers could declare their intention, Ayanda started stoning them with oranges. Captain Bode's men returned back to the village humiliated. When Bode saw his men, it suddenly dawned on him that he is the only one left that can tame the goddess. I shall go on to her, said Captain Bode. No, Captain, his men cried. We will not allow such humiliation fall upon you. Order us, and we shall go again. But that evening, Bode sneaked to a magician's hut. I need a charm to win the heart of a goddess, a love charm. The magician replied, the gods can easily do that. But the gods demand of 3 chickens, 2 tubers of yam, a pot of red oil, locust beans, pinch of salt, and a small basket of tomatoes. Hurry, bring them before the sun sets. So, Captain Bode brought all the ingredients, and the magician told him to come back the next day. But that night, the magician called his wife, prepare this lot for us, and let us eat before we die of hunger. When he got to the magician's hut the next day, the aroma of locust beans was heavy in the air. So he peeped through the window. He saw the magician and his children consuming the chicken. He started walking away, knowing fully well he had been fooled. I could also fool Ayanda, the orange goddess. So he took off his uniform, wore a beggar cloth, and headed for the mountain, pretending like someone who is weak and sick. When Ayanda saw him lying lifeless at the edge of the mountain, she took him in, washed him up and fed him. For days, Bode pretended to be weak, but he was observing, watching her every move. So one afternoon, Bode suddenly sat up and said to her, a woman as brave and beautiful as you shouldn't live alone on the mountain. Come with me, and I shall never tell the villagers that you are the thief who steal from them. I shall keep your little secret. Ayanda paused, then said, I will come with you. But if you ever betray me, the villagers won't have enough oranges to handle my wrath. Bode replied, I would expect nothing less. So, Ayanda descended from the mountains with Captain Bode. The soldiers and the villagers stood with their mouths widely open. Unbelievable! The captain has tamed the goddess. Word spread like wildfire, and when Jibike came to Ayanda, Jibike smiled. Though Captain Bode had fooled Ayanda, but Ayanda saw through his sincerity. The villagers were truly dying of hunger because of her selfish act. So, she agreed to protect them instead. Ayanda joined the military, using her power to defend the village. With oranges as their secret weapon, they defeated enemies with an unexpected force. Over time, Ayanda and Bode's bond deepened, and they fell in love. The villagers celebrated their wedding, knowing fully well that with Ayanda as their protector, no evil shall befall them. Indeed, we should always use our unique gift for the greater good. The end.